pre-15 minutes, absolutely absurd.
As we get into the bans and picks, I like that respect. Getting rid of the Urgot, getting rid of the Nasus. We're going to have some bloody 1v1s this time. No farming to 100. Tahm Kench and Syndra are up next.
That's my favorite thing is the Nasus ban. Get that guy out of here. I'm here for the first blood.
Yeah, Kalista is now banned away. We saw that tearing it up yesterday. And Caitlyn, so very, very smart banaways. Just generally speaking. Let's see what they decide to opt for against each other.
So the Tahm Kench was really prioritized by Turkey when we saw the 1v1s. They dominated with that champion, forced it to be banned. Kalista was the flavor from Southeast Asia, which it makes sense. Great dueling champion, range, has executability. But I like the fact that you can clearly see that Dara is here to kill people. Although as we say that, he's like, I've actually just eliminated all of the other power farmers, and now I'm just going to take a really long-range poking champion, and I'm going to farm it out either way.
Yeah, it's trying to stay safe, and hasn't locked that one in just yet, or has he? No, he hasn't. Yeah,
he has not locked Orianna in. They cannot see the champions.
Orianna, however, is locked in finally, so Helior takes that. Now they can see each other.
And this allows them time to set up their masteries and their runes accordingly for the matchup that they will face in the 1v1. So first and foremost, talking about Orianna. We've seen kind of some hit and miss Oriannas. I believe she's been played once, and she started out AD.
But Naru? No, that wasn't Naru.
It was Orianna into Cassiopeia. The main thing, though, is that in this matchup, she can take her E, and if she chooses to go AD again, she can literally just run forward at people, and she can almost outtrade almost any champion, especially if Varus misses his Q, by just having that clockwork windup as well as the bonus shield on her if she has a Doran's Blade. So watch to see how we play the level 1.
Yeah, play like a defensively offensive champion. The level 1 should be pretty interesting. We could still be in for a farm fest. You got to play it out safe, and you don't want to give up early games, start to lose that momentum as we load on to the murder bridge.
I mean, the meta that I've been seeing is it's all about the bush. That if you get control of the bush, you've almost just single-handedly won at least the first wave control. And if you do want to play this out towards that 100 CS, it's really important, you know, where are you freezing your wave? How are you trimming the wave? Are you standing in the back caster creeps when they go to trade on you so they take a little bit extra chip damage because the creeps change up their aggro? It's these tiny little things in your wave management control rather than just hitting all your skill shots that have really made or break these 1v1 champions.
Absolutely. We'll see if the Orianna or if the Varus comes out
the bush.
Big. More range. Bush control, very important. They both start with AD, Doran's Blades, and potions all around. Helior is going to face check, though. And he actually gets the first auto. Hail of Arrows comes in.
This is what I'm talking about. This is the any Orianna. This is the Faker special. For the longest time, Orianna's used to start Q, and then Faker really showcased that champion way back in Season 3. He started E, and he just ran at people and just like, come at me now.
You cannot kill me. This is going to be good. Helior, though, yeah, talk about front-loading your more powerful players. Helior is definitely one of those picks. And I'm really curious to see how he kind of builds this Ori, if he goes for the same kind of thing where he just maxes the E.
He's got the Doran's Blade, and he's against the E from Dara. So Dara's looking to thin out this creep wave and try to get it pushing in his favor. I feel like Helior should be just be more aggressive here.
Yep.
Ooh, what, Matt?
Is that Crisp of the Undying?
I missed it. I looked away for a second.
We've seen a couple of those on the murder bridge.
I wish I could see the masteries.
Yeah, be nice. Helior does take a little bit of punishment, but they just keep farming it out, and you can see both teams in the back is very tense. Remember, the winner of this best of 5 moves on to the finals later today and gets a chance at the All-Star event next week.
So I did get confirmation that it is Death, Fire, Touch, and Grasp of the Undying for their masteries here. So watch how those will interact.
But who's got what?
Death, Fire, Touch, Grasp of the Undying.
Ah, there we go.
I pointed, but...
Yes, you did. Off screen. We'll keep that one hidden from you. No, the Varus. It's funny because in Standard, Varus will more often go, of course, that Death, Fire, Touch, and yeah, you're not going to take Grasp on Summoners, but 1v1 is a very different beast.
I'm watching how he's contesting for this creep. So we're pretty much straight even right now. Dara did miss one of them, so he's actually CS behind. Are they actually just going to gentleman's agreement?
I'm surprised.
Not hit each other at all?
I am actually really surprised that they have done that so far, other than the level 1 pre-minion.
Helior's not even using his Q to zone off.
There we go.
He's literally just playing Orianna as a straight AD carry. Like, he could throw out the ball, have it sit on the back caster creeps, and at least threaten Dara that when he wants to come for the CS, that he's either taking a Q plus 2 autos. I just feel like every Orianna player is just a bit timid.
Well, he's a very defensively minded champion, right? Got the shields.
He's also a top laner, you know, might not be as fluent on a pick like Orianna than, say, a mid lane would be.
Very true. And, he does tend to pick very defensively minded champions in that regard. We saw the Poppy. He did make big plays. but he definitely plays a little bit more on the back, and the Graspy Undying keeping him healthy.
He's
This is a minion, though.
He's doing is he's conserving his mana to make sure that he can trade successfully with that E. Always disengaging from Daria's AoE, and then trying to absorb at least 1 or 2 auto attacks with that shield, as opposed to expending any excess mana by throwing out his Q.
Yeah, and he keeps healthy by he just keeps auto attacking whenever he gets it back up.
And I don't necessarily agree with it, but it has. Oh, actually, now it's evened up. I was gonna say, but he has.
He's missing minion.
He created a lead initially for himself by having about 2 extra creeps, but now he has fallen behind 3 creeps.
Oop. Dodges most of the damage, but he's autoing quite a lot, and Dara's down to half health. The health relics are not going to respawn for a little while still. The summoners, too, let's talk about them because we haven't really got into it. It's the barrier versus the ignite, and of course, both are rocking the exhaust, but that's standard fare at this point.
My problem with taking exhaust on picks like the Caitlyn and like the Varus, yes, they're great in a 1v1, but unless you're in a situation like this.
Oh, man, and he's going to be able to walk for the health relic and zone Dara away. That was a big power move.
Disaster. But my thing again, on the exhaust is Varus should really never be in a range of threat because he is such a long-range AD carry. To be able to use that exhaust successfully, especially against a champion like Orianna, who doesn't have a gap closer onto you. It's not like she can zip to you, she has to walk up to you.
Yeah, speed boost can definitely help out. However, really being able to walk forward, Dara miscalculates and throws his Hail of Arrows backwards. Staying under tower, though, as he does not want to miss this minion wave. That would put him in really deep.
And we said that this probably wasn't going to be farmed out, but at the same time, you know, so much pressure and anticipation. Winner of this will go to the finals, and that chance to represent their region on the AllStar stage next week in Spain. So it does make sense that you're not going to risk it all on kind of a one all-in first blood scenario, that maybe you will just try to ban out the other farm-heavy champions and look for the safe win.
And that's a really big deal for Helior especially. This is a guy who was part of the LAS team in the previous International Wildcard All-Stars as he tanks a tower.
That's really punishing because he doesn't have any mana left. And again, all he's been using his mana on is to help him win out these trades by having that surplus health on the shield.
He's got 6 though.
He doesn't have any mana.
No mana to use it, unfortunately. And the health relic is clutch for Dara. Yeah, so the advantage is to keep trading. He's missing minions now. No.
He actually hasn't even taken a point in Q.
No. Well, that's the same that we've seen so far.
Ah, it's exactly the same that it was played in.
Yeah. And remember, we haven't seen either of these guys back. That's the critical thing. Even though Dara was forced incredibly low, he actually did not back away.
Well, we're also evened out again on CS as long as Dara can hit this one. There he goes. So again, back to 42 on 42. And the wave's in a relatively neutral position. Helior really wants to start shoving it in and try to interrupt Dara's CSing with the tower shots.
Yeah, not been able to do it just yet. As he gets the shield on, again blocks a bit of the damage from the Hail of Arrows, but now it's starting to push Dara's way. Helior takes his own health relic, and into the brush goes Dara to try and obscure himself a little bit more.
Now his melee minions are on the exact same target, although as I say that, one of them wanders off to the side. I'd be mad. Because again, that would help your wave push forward.
Helior's going to try to zone this. Oh man, he's gone all in. Graspy Undying, there's no ignite still, and he's still got both of his summoners available. Unfortunately, neither of them do damage. He's going to have to settle for the trade with Dara.
Yep.
Low on mana, both of them.
Finally getting more confident. The fact that he does have the summoner advantage, still has that barrier available, while Dara's exhaust and ignite are just about to tick over. So we'll see if Helior times this correctly. Doesn't want to be on the field when both those kill summoners are up.
Yeah, this is really, really dangerous. He's very low health bars. He's still missing a couple of minions. Instead of last hit, he's been very actively trying to push this wave the entire time to force it under tower.
It just requires so much patience and diligence to just sit there and say, okay, I have to be all about the creeps. Because sometimes you just get bored.
There's the ignite. There's the hail. There's the auto. Helior.
You're done.
He's done so. What? The barrier. Oh, he jukes it, but not in time. And Dara takes the victory.
And unfortunately, he doesn't have the Q, so the only way he can hit the shockwave is by how he positions close to Varus. And again, Varus, one of the longest range AD carries, is never in that threat. So unfortunately, Helior loses one of his most valuable tools in the 1v1.
Just take 1 point in Q. Just one. Not this time, though, and a victory for Japan in game number 1. They are 2 away from moving on to the finals.
Yeah, and again, it's front-loading Although there are 5 players to play in the 1v1, although as I say that, I think we're going to see the highlight here.
There we go.
And the issue is that Hellier, he doesn't have flash because he took barrier exhaust, so there's just no way for him to get that shockwave on top of Varus, and that would have made the difference. Again, no point in Q.
Yeah, even just base damage on the Q would have done quite a lot and maybe put him within death of an auto attack range. He didn't even get to complete the shockwave, and it looked like it was just outside the range to hit anyway, so well celebrated by Japan over there. And that 1v1, I mean, that's one and done. We're going to wait on the next one.
Exactly, and that was from their support. Again, theoretically, if you think about this, your top laner, your mid laner, and your AD carry should have the best mechanics on the team. They front-loaded with Dara, who's known for his AllStar, and he comes up huge, so...
Yeah, good Varus play overall. I mean, he kept pace even though he was forced back, didn't back. Neither player did, actually, throughout the entirety
We just
of that.
waited until second rotation of summoner spells and then went all in.
Exactly. Yeah, that was nice. That was nice. The Ignite coming up really handy. I really want to hand it to Hellier for holding that barrier to the last second, but oh, if he only had the Q. Oh, well, we're going to see our next competitors representing Latin America South. From the mid lane, it will be Plugo.
And then it's versus Evie, so Japan's top laner. So again, we went from one Korean into the second Korean representative for Japan.
Yep.
Oh, excuse me. Evie is Japanese. I messed it up. It's Tussle.
Ah, that's okay. He's still the solo laner, but you talked about solo lane being the
I was
big
just
part of it.
so hyped up from Dara. I was like, now they're going to take
You're
put
on
in
the
his
Korean
duo
hype train just
partner.
from Dara. That was good. But Evie is a really solid player in his own right, and
Oh,
kept pace with Hellier in the series so far.
And this now demands the Tom Kench ban because Evie was phenomenal in that pick.
It's a comfort pick for him in any game mode.
And the fact that they were able to abuse it as a flex pick between him and the top lane.
Oh, yeah.
This is an uphill battle for Plugo. And unfortunately, Plugo not really recognized for his mechanical ability in that mid lane position. So, I mean, he's not coming in with the reputation of someone like Naru, like Seros into this tournament. Did have a good Diana performance back in Assassin's mode, but again, it was kind of the surprising Diana performance as opposed to the expected.
Absolutely. So we'll have to see if Latin America South can take this one. Plugo, he definitely looked really solid in the traditional 5v5, but in Assassins, it was a bit of a different story for a while. Had some trouble in that Diana. I feel like it's a champion he could pick, actually, in this mode as well.
Wait, Pyra, we have the budget eye of the tiger.
Are we allowed to say that?
I did.
We got away with it then. All right, so keeping it with the Assassins, LeBlanc's ban away, and we just got to go ahead from production. Yay! We're allowed.
You're not fired yet.
Not just yet.
Okay.
Got to do a little worse for that.
LeBlanc banned away.
This is my jam, in all honesty.
I'm okay. He's jamming out to music. He's head bobbing. I'm like, what are you gonna ban here? Like, there's just so many threats from Evie.
You gotta ban the
You
top
have to
catch.
ban top catch.
Well, Caitlyn's banned away. That's kind of a no-brainer. And I don't know about you. I don't think anyone else wants to see the Caitlyn action again.
We could see consistent bans from Japan across the board. Caitlyn and Nasus were banned last time around.
Doing their homework for sure. And speaking of, NASA's actually banned on the side of Latin America South.
So again, Plugo kind of in that same mentality, doesn't want to deal with Susan on the Rift. Susan, of course, puts all of his points into E, and there's just really nothing you can do. He puts his Spirit Fire down, and it just automatically shoves the wave, and he just wins through proxy farm.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what I would actually like to see out of Plugo in this game mode? I know it's going to sound a little crazy, because we have seen it once. It's the Ziggs.
I mean, Ziggs makes sense. He's got great tower damage, so you can threat to the tower.
And it's right in his wheelhouse. It's one of the champions he enjoys.
Exactly. He's got great farm potential as well as damage and AoE potential.
Speaking of control mages, though.
That was an... No, he hasn't locked it in yet. I was going to say, it looked like an insta-lock on the Lulu.
Yeah, that's something we haven't quite seen. We have seen Taliyah.
It's okay. I am a Lulu connoisseur.
Ah, excellent.
I am ready for this.
We brought the expert.
See, the cool thing about Lulu and why I was curious why we didn't see her initially in kind of the 1v1s is, again, she's kind of that Orianna mentality of she's a ranged champion. She has great disengage CC. She has great ability to reposition herself. She can win trades and build AD by taking her shield early.
Yeah, she has a clutch ultimate, too, to be able to deny. It's like a barrier for free.
Again, it's kind of this mentality of just chipping away and trying to win the farm battle, and it will be Lulu versus Taliyah. So
they went all the way down to lock that in.
Yeah.
Wow.
A second. Okay,
so this is going to be interesting. For Taliyah, obviously it's going to be all about fancy footwork, sidestepping, making sure you get in front of those.
No, it's about shoving.
With rocks.
With rocks.
Yeah.
It's about throwing stones.
Okay. Well, let's see if Lulu can tank those.
Problem is that what really put Taliyah down was when they removed a lot of the damage off of her ability to shove on the Q and how much damage it does to creeps. So it's not going to be as free as it once was for her, but Lulu kind of has a bit of a mixture where she can look to make more successful trades just because she can trade through creep waves. She has a bit more ability to absorb trades with her shield, but Taliyah will have a bit more pushing power, theoretically, how she uses her worked ground. I'm just really curious about it.
There's a lot less unworked ground available, though, when you look at it, because it is just one map, and they're actually just going to start. Nice Thunderlords proc, and both champions are actually running the Thunderlords, but Plugo gets the jump.
But this is the thing, even with the Thunderlords proc and pretty much hitting every single pebble of his Q, he was still almost close to a fair trade in Evi's favor.
Yeah, and he's the one who's rocking the Biscuit Mastery as well, so he'll have a little bit more regen for himself.
The one cool thing about Taliyah in this map is how quickly and efficiently she can get from spawn back into the battlefield simply by how she uses her passive against the walls. So that is something that's cool. I still think not a lot is going really for Taliyah on the 1v1s, but maybe Plugo just feels very comfortable. Again, this is a champion that fits in his wheelhouse back home, and he's immediately going for the back caster creeps.
Yeah. Nice start out here. Yeah, he weakens them up, softens them a little bit, and Evi's not going to have too many creeps to work with himself. Plugo looking for the Q onto the minions. A threaded volley nails them, and Evi dodges,
and
but he's starting to shove the wave.
Already see the type of work that he's doing. I bet Mithy's sitting backstage like, huh, took the caster creeps down to 20% HP. I wonder who revolutionized that idea. It was Mithy.
Yes. Glad we clarified that for those of you that may not know. Plugo trades once again evenly, though, because Evi, this time the Thunderlords goes in his favor.
And again, that's kind of the flexibility that we saw with, or what I was talking about with Lulu. Taliyah, she's got pretty much one binary playstyle. She's going to push this wave, and she's going to try to disrupt your farming by getting it under tower and make you compete with the tower shots. She can take pot shots at you underneath the tower once she has you shoved in, whereas Lulu kind of has the flexibility of, I'm going to try to absorb trades and trade back with you as well as push. But right now, Evi's just getting shoved in.
Yeah, not a huge minion advantage, though, for Plugo, so it's slim, but it could always mean the difference. And Plugo trying to get in position to maybe knock another threaded volley into Evi, but he seems to be saving his mana right now to probably try and push those minions. There we go. There's the Q. Just on the work ground, though, so it doesn't cost him much, doesn't dish much.
We'll see how he plays with his relic behind him. That was close.
Dodges the shove.
But actually very dangerous by the fact that Evi still had his cannon creep available.
Yeah, that could have been a really punishing move. And Plugo's actually tanking a lot from Evi, but Evi's fighting in the minions. And there is the health relic. Plugo is not afraid at all. Minion is going to absorb all of the threaded volley, so Evi's safe.
Already see, you know, the declawing that Riot has done to Taliyah, the fact that she's not able to push as strongly as she once did.
Yeah, it's like when I'm watching the Bob Ross stream. Ruined!
She's just a happy little rock?
She's a happy little rock?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying.
I went Bob Ross, you went Twitch chat.
Well, that's the difference between the two of us, isn't it?
Great.
All right, back to this.
But check out the mana usage here from Plugo versus Evi. The fact that Plugo is having to use multiple abilities to just keep up with the pushing power of Lulu, again, is declawing him in these trades because he doesn't have as much of a resource bar to work with.
Not to mention Pix is helping out. Evi
that's
does get shoved, but not into tower range.
Back.
Ignite. This could be the end of it. Double ignite. Exhaust is spent, but no, it turns around, and it's gonna be Evi.
Don't go toe-to-toe with the purple.
Whew. It didn't just taste purple, it tasted spicy. What a match.
And that was not a happy little accident. That was calculated by Evi. Again, showcasing his ability from the top lane. This guy is known as the best top laner in Japan, and you can see why.
Absolutely. So 2-0 right now. Japan, they were the ones who reverse swept their last time around. Latin America South are going to have to do that if they want to stay alive.
I know, they are back to, again, there are 5 players, but it is first to 3. So if Japan win this next 1v1, they are through to the finals against the winner of Turkey versus Southeast Asia. So it's just one more match.
Disappointment. Absolutely. You do not want to start this out 0-2. And let's take a look at it again because it was a real close affair.
It looked really good initially, but unfortunately the creep wave had already gotten the aggro from the tower. And so Evi didn't take any extra damage and just turned it around again, using multiple of his abilities to absorb the trade with the shield and then just get the Thunderlord's proc, Glitter Lance to the face.
Yeah, and you could even see the frustration on Plugo's face trying so hard to get back in because he saw, oh, there's not enough damage from the minions. I'm going to turn back for the auto, but he gets nailed by the Glitter Lance. And it's lights out. It
looked great initially in the early levels. Great setup from Plugo on the initial wave that came in, making sure that he got the first push, but unfortunately ran out of steam.
All right, let's take a look at our next competitors. It is all on the line for Latin America South, and they have selected Warangelis their ADC to represent them next.
Okay, the hyper carry king, and facing across from him is the faker of Japan. It is Saros. This is the explosive matchup. If there's any player from Latin America South that can go toe-to-toe mechanically with Saros, it's certainly going to be Wara, especially after this tournament.
Yeah, we saw them play against each other in Assassin mode. They just opted two of the strongest players on this team, and they're going to need him. If Japan can put this one away, Saros is the guy to do it, but Wara, he has defied death many a time, and I'm curious to see what he picks up.
He's the Zillion King.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah, he could take Zillion too, but I don't think so.
No, actually it's Saros. Like, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, it is Saros. He's played Nocturne, Vel'Koz.
Wara definitely not, but he was a mid laner, so maybe back in the day. But
that's
yeah.
What's cool about Wara is that since he's role swapped from mid into AD carry, there's kind of like that sneaky aspect of, will he play a mage? Will he play an AD carry? He's certainly showcased his mechanics on the likes of the Ezreal and the Vayne already, so needs to be respected in that front. But this is kind of big question marks for both these players. What is Saros going to play? This guy is known for his innovation back home.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a really, really curious pick, man, because if there's ever two players that are going to take something a little bit outside of what you would expect in the 1v1, outside of traditional stuff, it's got to be this.
Here we go, though. Will it be similar bans? Will we see heavy farmers continue to be taken off the board? I feel like we keep seeing them target people out like Caitlyn, like Nasus, and then they come in with the Taliyahs, and it's like, okay, they're going to farm anyway. They just wanted to eliminate some of the competition, and then we end up at a level 4 duel.
We're like, okay, why not? Cassiopeia stops. It seems like everyone kind of changes their direction midway. That's how it's gone. But now down to the last couple seconds, Saros is taking his time on the ban. I was going to say, is he just going to keep doing that and not ban anything? But no, he takes the Caitlyn
That is
away.
A legitimate strategy. Although, again, Caitlyn and Nasus, we'll see if this continues to be the meta of 1v1s. If Turkey versus Southeast Asia get to this point.
Yeah, well, it's all on the line here. This is
no pressure, Wara.
Point. Not at all. If Wara can't win this one, his team is out. But can you believe it, after the crazy 5v5 after the Assassins mode, it's all going to come down to the individual skill of these two players, and they're the best when it comes down to it. LeBlanc ban, Draven ban by Saros. He's not going to let Wara take an AD carry like that. Yeah,
so definitely thinning the AD carry pool out. But again, Wara, role swapped from the mid lane, has shown that he can play the LeBlanc from the Assassin mode. Unfortunately, didn't win his team anything.
And he won't be playing it this time around, but it was a nice ban there. Saros finally finished off with a Syndra. And quickly, Wara looks at the Lucian. I don't think he'll lock that one in, but we could see it.
That's very ballsy. Lucian can farm it out. He can look for the duels. You can see that Japan have been talking, and they've strategized.
Yeah, it's even better in sync if he takes like the same skin, the Star Guardian.
Is that what
picks more annoying?
Skin was used.
That was the one.
Okay, so we could have another repeat of the last time around.
Yeah, we do have the Lucian lock in.
Going to the comfort.
Wara is definitely, he's gone for the comfort level, and he's felt like he can deal with it with a barrier, but Saros has not locked this Lulu in yet. I think he will.
Barrier is going to be better on the 1v1, especially when you're dealing across from Ignite, so no surprise to see those two summoners.
Yeah, you don't want the heal. It's not worth.
Exactly.
Especially with the shred that you're going to get from the Ignite.
Especially on an AD carry champion. Again, the cool thing about kind of Lucian and Lulu is their flexibility and kind of what technique that they want to try to win the game through. You know, is it going to be pushing the tower? Is it going to be through the 100 CS? Or is it going to be through a straight 1v1 duel?
Well, Saros has locked the Lulu, so if it ain't broke, don't fix it, he says as he locks that champion, and Wara is going to be facing off against him on this Lucian. So this will be really curious. I think Lucian definitely has a bit more punishability.
I mean, if Lulu, her primary damage source is through a skill shot, and naturally if he uses his Relentless Pursuit, it's really just about like the abilities and how they match up. Technically,
who pushes the buttons better?
Well, Lucian at level 3 is going to have one of the highest damage outputs if he weaves his passive correctly enough times, but I don't know, are we simply going to be trading through Qs or creeps?
He could just be farming it up too, because that's another thing when you think about the double tap can let him farm a little bit faster and shove the wave and try to make that play. I'd be curious. Well,
naturally, you're always going to want to grab control of the wave, so that way when you do look for those little trades, you get the advantage of having more creeps follow up your attacks. You know what I mean?
That's true. You can start shoving that one in.
So that will always be a priority, unless we get into a case where we get control of bush, we bully someone off of the initial wave that's set, and then you try to get behind the enemy caster creeps and zone them in between the time that the next wave is coming in.
Yeah. Let's see who gets the jump on who as the 1v1s continue. All on the line here for Latin America South. They need this victory to stay alive. Wara on to Snowdown, Showdown, marching his way down the mid, and he'll meet up with Saros.
And
get ready.
This is it. This is do or die for Latin America South. It is all on the shoulders of Wara. The guy who wasn't even initially voted into this tournament, who has come through and showcased that he deserves to be here.
He has been massive in this tournament right now, and like on all variety of champions. We've seen him pretty solid in Assassin mode. We've seen him great in the 5v5s, and now he's on Lucian, a champion that's, you know, in every AD carry's wheelhouse. May not have been meta for a little while, but Saros is going to have to watch his back, but he feels confident enough to take this Lulu, and they are not going to be meeting each other. Just some brush control for Wara.
Makes sense. You don't want to risk your region's life simply by face checking level 1 into a bush, having things go sideways.
Yep. Oh, the minion too.
Both of them.
They are playing very scared in this one. Come on. Let's see some action. Wara, I think the level 3 is really going to be super crucial for him, like you were saying, as he does get a few pot shots with the piercing light, but the Thunderlords is punishing him.
And taking targetable damage as opposed to trying to do with the Glitter Lance. You can see the players on the bottom of your screen. Japan looking a bit more cheerful, although Helier's like kicked back like, yeah.
Yeah, he's finished. He's done as much as he possibly can. Saros.
He has to wait until the shield
There's
drops.
the Relentless Pursuit. He gets the exhaust. There's one following.
He's got
Biscuit's
3 caster
being nommed.
creeps.
There are a lot of caster creeps there, that's for sure. And the ones for Saros were a little bit preoccupied. Oh, the barrier and the ignite. He's going to have to dash away. The minions were punishing him. And Saros comes out on top of that trade.
Oh, no. Run. Yeah, he's just going to have to go back. Very close right there. The issue was that War chose to fight Saros within, I think, 3 of Saros' caster creeps. And it was really the minion damage this low level that almost spelled disaster for Latin America South.
You can see him going for a much more sustained full build right now.
Well, he has to. He can't afford anything else.
No other money. I mean, this is awful back right now because you just do not want to leave that early on. Saros is going to be able to take a health relic if he wants it or just save it. He denies the minions. He can freeze the wave. Oh, this is looking so good for the LJL.
He's just trying to hold it there as long as possible. The biggest thing that he missed out on, though, is always going to be that experience. It's not going to be as punishing across from a Lulu as, say, another champion, simply because her ultimate really doesn't do damage, but still not the greatest situation to be in.
Yeah, now he's going to equalize up to 3, but he's still a little bit behind the 8 ball, and he's trying to clear away these mini waves so he can get the fight on. Unfortunately, gets nailed by the Glitter Lance, and he dashes, but Saros is already getting healthier enough again. Piercing Light, double tap again. Saros is going to be the one forced back under tower now. He's got no more biscuits.
Now, what Wara needs to do is he needs to actually keep Saros in the lane as long as possible, or if Saros tries to make his back here.
He's using his Relentless Pursuit back, but Saros cancels his own. So he's gone for pushing the wave, and he forced Saros' attention. Who's still a little bit low, waiting for the cooldown on his E to go back in again.
It's because he's immediately shoving it in. So he was threatening Saros, even though he didn't hit him with anything to stop his back. He's threatening him by forcing the wave, and he doesn't want to fall too far behind in CS. He wants to make sure that he maintains that lead no matter however slim. And again, the reason why is that he has the initial back. The big thing, obviously, being the pot. Yep. So Saros is actually going to try to minimize the damage by attempting to back on the cannon creep, but Wara just showcasing how strong Lucian is at shoving that wave in with double tap.
Yeah, but Saros has just gone straight through the mini wave to dish a little bit of extra damage onto Wara, who's not able to all-in him now.
I'd be irritated as well. Let me back!
Gets a little cranky when he can't get backed off. So, still very close in the farm game right now as Saros has had the wave shoved into him. Wara opted to back himself. No, he doesn't. Never mind. Got juked.
Missed all 3 of those creeps.
Yeah, that's a little unlucky.
Little unlucky.
Just a bit.
Can make or break his region.
Yeah. Wara is not missing any himself right now. He might miss that one in the back. Unfortunately, he does get hit by the Glitter Lance. And now level 5 versus level 5. That 6 could be a big difference for Wara. But Saros is not backed yet. And here we go. It's still level 5. He's going in. Dash. Oh, he gets turned into a munchkin. Squirrel, I should say.
Key thing right now is to look at the summoner spells. The fact that Wara's barrier is just about to come up. Meanwhile,
and if he gets 6 here,
we're going to have the second rotation of Saros' spells.
Oh, he stops the back. And he's so low right now.
He's not under a ton of threat. Wara doesn't have much mana.
Yeah, and he doesn't have 6 yet.
Even if he does get 6, I mean, it's hard because I can't click on his mana pool. He might not be able to cast it.
Yeah. He can keep Saros under pressure, though. And he's actually just tanking these minions right now.
Because he wants to interrupt Saros' back. He's threatening with the creeps. You know, if you back, you will lose this wave.
Yeah, play this as safely as possible. Remember, the whole tournament is on the line right now.
So there's
in the hands of these 2 players.
The level 6 advantage. And again, on pretty much any other champion, this is kind of your go-to to all in. But but the fact that Wara has had complete control over the creep wave by always having more minions than Saros, he pretty much negated any experience disadvantage that he was at.
And a clutch grab of the health relic. Now Saros is still trying to back, but Wara just keeps doing this, and he's even able to interrupt it. Saros was going to move anyways, but he takes the damage.
And what initially looked like a poor back for Wara has now turned into his favor just because he was able to deny Saros. But he says, this is fine. I've got, you know, a 3 CS lead probably.
Whole another health relic too. Saros is just scraping by. Now, he has kept up in farm, and this time he's going to try to back. I'm curious to see if Wara just... Nope, he takes a tower shot off that too. He was trying to get an interrupt, and he does.
He's got the regen lead.
Oh, okay. Saros ults. He's going to try to scare him off, yeah. But now there's not available, so that's going to be the calling! Saros dodges and ducks and dives out of some of it. Wara has no more mana left, but now it's tower threat. Okay. Level advantage for Saros. He's got the mana pool to work with, too. Wara's got to get back to the safety of his minions.
So finally, the wave has been reset. It's been pretty much at Saros' front door for the last 4 waves.
Yeah. Mana pools are a thing. Wara takes a little bit more damage, and the health relic comes back up. The one on Wara's side is going to take a lot longer as he only just recently picked it up. Okay, piercing light and double auto, but he still gets nailed by at least a little bit of damage. Help picks. Thunderlord's proc. Oh, Wara's playing with fire here. He's got barrier.
Wara did manage to trade successfully on creeps, however. He's now going to be 2 above Saros, simply because Saros missed... Technically, he missed 3 creeps when he went to trade with Wara, but Wara also missed 1 when he was trying to get back to the wave.
Yep.
Missed another one there.
Wara is going to be able to back, and of course, Saros had already backed for the first time this game. Gets a Seeker's Arm Guard, another Doran's Ring, and an Amped Tome, as well as some biscuits. We'll have to see what Wara is going to pick up as the mini wave comes crashing in. Saros nails 1. Should be able to clean this one up.
And still just a very slow-paced game. Now, both of them going defensive item tells me that they're looking for small skirmishes, but particularly over farm. They're not looking for all-in engagements unless it's gifted to them. It's about continually chipping away and using pressure advantages to, you know, get 1 CS, 2 CS. I think we're in this one for the long haul.
I think we are for sure. It's so close. 2 creeps separating the 2 players right now as Wara is going to be able to dash and get a little bit more damage. He gets turned into a squirrel, but he keeps on Saros. There's a big minion wave, however, and Thunderlords is going to deter him. Dashes. Oh, he wants to punish the health relic. He does get it, but he takes a lot of damage in return. Oh, it's tense. 1 trade going awry could mean the difference right now.
You're talking about the trades. I'm just looking at the creeps. I'm like, oh no, he missed another one.
Oh, yep, and he's tanking through everything right now.
He's got the cannon creep on him as well as the caster creep.
Yeah, but he dashes straight in. That's going to force the ultimate out of Saros, and that is a very, very useful summoner spell. His barrier saving his life.
Oh no.
As Saros now is on the chase, realizes there is no health left, and he whimsies forward, and he's able to steal away the health relic. Wara is forced back. 6 creep advantage, but that's not going to last long.
But there was no reason to take the trade like that. Wara, unfortunately, makes a mechanical error. He was standing right next to the brush. He took way too much minion damage. All he needed to do was step into the brush and drop sight, or choose not to fight right next to the cannon creep.
Yeah, and just like that, Saros is able to free back. It's 76 to 76 creeps. We're within 24.
You just have to think, you know, how draining it is to focus and to say, okay, I'm going to farm this one out to 100, then I'm going to look at the long-term game and try to stay focused on that, and how frustrating it is for a player. You know, they want to trade, they want to be aggressive.
Look at this from Saros. 5, count them, 5 biscuits.
We're not backing again.
No. Health relic steals away. They want to stop any sustain possible, and Wara's trying his damnedest to freeze this one out. It's going to be difficult, though. He has 4 CS advantage, but the waves keep on coming. Forces a little damage from Saros, dashes forward, gets a piercing light. Double tap to finish the minions off. He gets a few more. Oh, this is coming right down to the wire. Right now, Wara has the advantage. Saros seems to have misplayed this one, but the Thunderlord's proc is there. There's a lot of minions, though, pushing forward. And Wara does a nice job to sidestep the Glitter Lance. He is within 12 minions. Saros gets the shield. Auto attack still flying. Double taps onto them.
Wara still afloat here.
No summoner spells for him, though. If
on
he gets
either
traded
side.
on either side, it could be deadly. If it really came down to kills after all that, that'd be insane.
It's the windows, though. Anytime... Oh.
There we go. Ooh, buddy.
Anytime Saros opens up with his Glitter Lance and he misses it, War has the confidence to go in to look for the CS and to look for an elongated trade. But the problem is that Wara did not come back with any pots. He's entirely reliant on his health relic as well as the regen pen, while Saros has now burned through all 5 of his pots.
Wara takes a lot of damage. He's going to go for the
gonna-
calling. Oh, he gets interrupted. No! Dashing, looking, he needs 3, but he can't get it. And that's it. Japan.